Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Knox, Soviet Global Command 10.3. Alright, Tech. PGM, Advanced SLBM, SDI, Chemical, Advanced Sonar, Top Gun. Well, they did better than they normally do. So, PGM, yes. Advanced SLBM, yes. Chemical and advanced sonar. PGM goes to stage 2. Advanced SLBM, they get stage 1 there. Chemical is complete, so the Soviets are now immune to chemical disruption. And advanced sonar, was it advanced sonar or Top Gun? It was advanced sonar, goes to stage 3. Right. Those two. All right. Next up, global operations, diplomacy. The Soviets are going to use their free die and their potential paid die to try to sign a military pact with Yemen, since Yemen is adjacent now to an American land zone being enemy. So here they go. And they did get it within 11. So they have to spend the 2 IPP on diplomacy. That is done. The Soviets now have a military pact with Yemen. Now, as you see here, these are different roundels. So Yemen and South Yemen are 2 separate minor factions. So let me switch this stuff out. Okay, that's done. Yemen isn't worth anything. No income gain, but the Soviets do have a minor army base now on the American southern flank in the Mideast. But that's not going to change their buy. Okay, so that's done. There's nothing to request nuclear-wise. So military aid and purchase. That's kind of crowded. I guess that's about the best view I can give you. Okay, the Soviets are spending 5 to send Warsaw Pact to Next Gen MBT. Then for themselves, they are spending 30 on 2 MBTs, 2 early gen MBTs, 2 fighters, and 2 early gen fighters. Then they're spending 17 on 4 early gen MBTs and 3 early gen fighters, and saving 1. And then, of course, they build 8 cruise missiles and 5 anti-ship missiles per turn. All right, combat. This time, I guess I need to mention this real quick. NATO, at the very tail end of their turn, realized a mistake they had made up here in the far north with their fleet placement. They had moved everything from A6 to A7 and said, oh, wait a minute, we left a hole. So they moved the 2 SSNs from A6, 1, 2 into A8. By doing that now, blocking here, the Americans are also kind of a backstop over here. No, wait a minute. Can they still do it? No, they cannot. Okay, so this disposition here blocks supply path coming from the north of the Soviet Union. Any supply path that tries to come out of the Baltic and go through the Atlantic, even though it can get through the mid-Atlantic here, when it gets around to the Indian Ocean, American forces have supply path blocked here. And of course, anything coming out of through Suez is blocked. So, long story short, when the Soviets lost New Delhi, that put West Bengal and Hyderabad both out of supply. So, no combat operations launched from either one of those land zones. So that's restricting them pretty hard on what they can do this turn, because they don't have a whole bunch of forces available outside India. So here we go. This is what they're going to do. The strategic bomber from Volgograd is going to take off and fly 1, 2, 3 spaces down here to Tabriz. And then it shoots a pair of cruise missiles into Basra in a surgical strike. The Americans don't have a SAM there, so there's no missile defense. Then the SSN in M11 is shooting 2 anti-ship missiles into M10 in a surgical strike, or an ASM strike, or whatever you want to call it. NATO does have a cruiser and a frigate, so there are 2 missile defense shots there. The 2 major air bases here in eastern Ukraine and Volgograd are each shooting a cruise missile 1, 2, 3 into Anatolia in a surgical strike. There's no missile defense there. Come around this way. The cruiser and the destroyer in A10 are each shooting an anti-ship missile into A7. Yeah, there's 3 there. And then the major shipyard from Murmansk is shooting 1, 2, 3, also into A7 to attack the NATO fleet there. Then these 2 Soviet major air bases in Belarus and Western Ukraine are each shooting a cruise missile 1, 2, 3 into East Germany in a surgical strike, where there will be missile defense. And finally, I believe, each of the major air bases in Murmansk and Leningrad are shooting a cruise missile into Nordland. The 2 backfires here in Baltic states fly over here to Leningrad, where they can shoot 1, 2 each. So there are a total of 6 cruise missiles being shot into Nordland in surgical strike. There is a SAM there, so there will be 3 missile defense shots in that zone. And I think that's it for combat. It's all missile shots by the Soviets this turn. So Let's get after them. So the first one is going to be, let's find it here. 2 cruise missiles fired into Basra. No missile defense by the Americans. Okay, there's 1 hit. So there's the American card. And they are going to take the hit on the spag. Pull those missiles off there. Okay, next, we've got 2 cruise missiles going into Anatolia, where there is no missile defense either. Okay, those both miss. Next, we have 2 anti-ship missiles going into M10. NATO does have 2 missile defense shots there. Those both miss. So the anti-ship missiles go in, and they get 1 target select hit. A 1 for missile strikes. It's a rule for surgical strikes, so I also play it as a rule for ASM strikes. If you roll a 1, it's a surface target select. So the Soviets are going to try it. They're going to, well, that won't kill it though. A cruiser's a capital ship now that takes 2 hits to kill. So they're just going to target one of the destroyers and get it out of there. Get a sure kill. Okay, that's that. Take those off there. Next is going to be 2 cruise missiles into East Germany where there is missile defense. So 2 AMD shots by NATO. Those both miss. Okay, there is 1 hit scored by a cruise missile. And this is the East Germany card. They're going to take the hit on an artillery. Okay, there's that. Let me pull those off so I don't forget and get confused. Next one, we'll just get the auxiliary tray over here. The next one will be 3 anti-ship missiles into A7, where there will be 3, 1 cruiser and 2 frigates, 3 missile defense shots. Okay, 3 missile defense shots for NATO. Those all miss. 3 attack shots by the Soviets, and they get 1 hit. So NATO is going to take 1 damage on their supercarrier. Since they only have 1 plane flying off there right now out of 4 available air slots, they can afford to take a damage on it. So there's that. That one's done. Okay, we have, I think it's the last one, the Big Daddy. 6 cruise missile shots into Nordland. NATO has 3 AMD shots that all missed. 4, 5, 6. 6 cruise missiles. For 3 hits, 1 is a land target select. Okay. The land target select, the Soviets are going to put on an MBT, so there's 1. And then for the other 2, NATO will kill the airborne and 1 mech. Okay. Now that is it. Let me go look at my notes real quick just to make sure I didn't miss one. Oh yeah, we forgot one. It's a good thing I looked. M10A7 Basra Nordland. We got 1 combat left, and I forgot to mention it in combat movement. Walked right past it. In the spirit of trying to do all they can, the SSN in A41 goes over to A42, comes off silent running, and is going to attack the NATO oil tanker. So pivot this way. Okay, that'll do it. A 1 is a hit. So we'll put this on the, well, we don't need to put it on the Soviet dashboard because there's nobody else has a turn. Nobody else is going to play this turn that can hit it. So that's, well, I better go ahead so I remember to give them their 2 bonus. Yeah, remember to give them their 2 bonus. I actually put that right up there next to the money spot so it won't get missed. Okay, that's it for combat. Non-combat. Non-combat. This is a tough one for the Soviets. This strategic bomber is going to land in Tehran. These 2 MBTs and the field artillery from Tehran are moving 1, 2 into Baghdad. The MBT from eastern Iran is moving 1 space up there to Afghanistan. No, he isn't actually. Never mind that. He's going to move over to Shiraz. he moves over there to Shiraz. Now, even though these guys over here in India are out of supply, they can non-combat move. So the two backfires and the ASF are going to DD out of here. They are all going to fly up here to Tehran. Okay, there's that. The Soviet early gen fighter has decided he has needed other places, so he air redeploys into Baghdad, and the field artillery that is there in Angola is going to heavy airlift into Baghdad. If you remember, we've discussed before that even a minor air base, the advanced logistics capabilities are separate. So there's one airlift, one heavy airlift, one air redeploy, etc., available to the minor army base. Okay, that's that. Over here, the ASF is going to move over here to Murmansk. The backfires are going to stay where they are in Leningrad. It may be a suicide mission, but he doesn't have any choice. The two next-gen MBTs and the two early-gen fighters from West Ukraine are going 1-2 over here to Western Poland, since the way things stand, Eastern Europe is pretty much wide open. They got to get in there and do what they can. And it looks like that's it. I don't think the Soviets really have anything left that they can move. Well, there is one more thing. They're going to move the SAM from southern Caucasia. Oh no, the SAM from Turkmenistan. They're going to move over here. Well, they're going to move to Tehran, because there's a SPAG in Afghanistan to stop air movement. So they're going to move the SAM into Tehran to not allow any air movement past it. Okay, that's it for non-combat. Now we're placing units. And everything is going up north. So if we do like that, you should be able to see all the action. It's probably going to be simplest if I just pick up the whole build plate and carry it around here. And of course I drop stuff along the way. So hurry, run, get it before the dog comes down here and decides to chomp on it. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. So 2 MBTs and 2 early gen MBTs go to the major army base in western Ukraine. 2 fighters and 2 early generation fighters go to the major air base in western Ukraine. 4 early generation MBTs go to the major army base in Murmansk. 3 early gen fighters go to the major air base in Murmansk. And that's it for placement of Soviet units. The military aid, next generation MBT, is delivered to Western Poland. And that, as they say, is that. All right, money. Soviets are at 45. And they get 2 each for possessing Nigeria and Shiraz. And they did score 2 from an oil tanker, so that is 6. 1 to 45 makes 51. Plus the one they saved puts 52 in their bank for next turn. And let's see, the Soviets didn't earn any battle stars with their missile attacks. So that's it. Ozark Outpost. Oh wait, missiles. I forgot. 8 cruise missiles and 5 anti-ship missiles. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.